Hey there, YTPC, New Jersey Piper Ben here. My LCS pot out for a quick smoke on this gross Friday evening. Have a GLP's Meridian inside. Yeah, tropical storm Faye, I think it is sort of sitting over. It's just rotating. So, bands of rain and a little bit of wind. Nothing too crazy from a wind standpoint, but it's gusty here and there. But mostly just heavy rain. And my idiot ass decided to go to the store like during the worst part of it. I mean, I've got a nice big umbrella, but there's only so much you can do when it's raining that hard and that fat. So, got a little bit wet, but no big deal. Got the shopping done. For today, at least. Probably going to be going to Aldi in the morning. They opened up a new Aldi about, say mileage, it's probably about 12 or 13 miles. So about a 20-minute trip, once you get through the neighborhood. You're on the highway for a bit, but I try to only do that about once a month. I love Aldi, just going and stocking up on stuff. Their prices are fantastic. But before they opened this one, the closest one was about a 16, 17 mile drive, so closer to a half an hour. So yeah, that was a pain in the butt, but I'm glad I found this one. They're supposed to open an even closer one in the spot of an old Toys R Us. It was just announced though. I don't know. I don't think they haven't announced any timing about it, just that they were going to put one there, which is cool. And in the town I live in, there's been there used to be an A&P in town, and I think A&P just altogether went bankrupt. But yeah, that store closed. This was probably like 4 years ago, close to 4 years ago now, and they haven't put anything there since. But they just announced they're putting a Lidl, Lidl, which is another German grocery conglomerate like Aldi. I've never been into a Lidl, but apparently they're expanding, just like Aldi's rapidly expanding too. I think that model is pretty genius when you think about it, because we've got large supermarket. I've got a ShopRite, less than 3 miles from my house. And I basically go there and get things that are on sale. Because if it's not on sale, the price is utterly ridiculous. I mean, it literally makes me laugh how stupid some of the prices are for stuff that's not on sale. So yeah, I get the ad that starts on Sunday, and I go through the ad and make a list. Say, okay, I could use this, and it's on sale, so I'm going to buy it. Yeah, and then the supplemental trips to Aldi, which I love Aldi because their prices are always low, and you kind of have to find what you like there, and figure out what you like, what you don't like. Some stuff's hit or miss. The vast majority of it I think is really good though. We went to an Aldi when we lived in St. Peters, Missouri. We didn't know what it was. We just knew that it was some sort of grocery store. And we went in there one day and we're looking at the stuff and we're just like, what is this? There's like, so here, stepping back. So Aldi is basically like, they don't carry standard name brand stuff like Nabisco Oreos or Hidden Valley Ranch, or, you know, they don't carry those national brands everybody knows and loves sometimes, I guess, but they have their own versions of those things and their own branding that's specific to the store. Now, there are some occasions where they'll bring in some national branded stuff, and they're doing that more with strategic type items, you know, just to test it out, I guess. Like sometimes you'll see like Coca-Cola in there, or, you know, like Pop-Tarts or whatever. So they're doing that, but the vast majority of the stuff is just their stuff. And it's a much more scaled back model than a big supermarket where they only carry like the top, like, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 most popular items that people buy, people's staple items. Whereas a regular supermarket would have like 15 or 20,000 different items. They only carry like the most popular things that everybody buys. So because of that, their overhead is very low. They don't have to pay these national brands. You know, they make their own stuff, or they partner with food companies and suppliers and basically just put their label on stuff that they were already making anyway. And I found the vast majority of this stuff is just as good as anything you would buy in a grocery store, because it's probably the same thing anyway, if not better in some cases. There's some specialty items they carry, like cheeses and things like that are actually really good. And again, much cheaper than you would get in a supermarket. Yeah, it's really humid. I'm probably going to have trouble keeping my pipe lit if I'm running my mouth. But that's okay. I've got a lighter. Yeah, I've never been in a little, but from what I've heard, it's kind of similar to Aldi, but maybe slightly more upscale, more specialty, etc., etc. But apparently their prices are still very reasonable. So I'm definitely excited to have one very close to where I live. Like, it's probably less than 2 miles from my house. So even closer than the ShopRite that I go to all the time. So that's really cool. Haven't announced an opening date yet, but it kind of goes with the theme of what's been going on in the town. They just finished a pretty large apartment building, nice, you know, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. I don't know if they have 3 beds or not. Right downtown, you know, so walking distance to restaurants and things. So yeah, just kind of good, decent business development that's only going to make the value of my house go up. So that's cool. Now, there is a bus line that runs through town that eventually will end you up in New York City. But there's no train line. Like, a direct link train line is actually a much bigger draw than the bus line for some reason. I guess because the train is just more convenient and more comfortable. But the train station that was in town, I think it ran into New York City at some point, but it's no longer operable. But any town around here that's got a train station where you can take a train directly into the city, it tends to be a very it's a more upscale area for sure. It just raises rents immediately to have that direct access to the city. But I just honestly, like, the stuff I go in for, I go on this app called Best Parking. I find coupons for garage parking close to where I'm going, and I tend to do that. So, you know, you do have to pay the fee to drive over the George Washington Bridge, which I think is like $13 now if you have Easy Pass. And then the garage is normally about, you can only find coupons for like $15-20 for the time I'm going to be there. And then compared to the train station, to park at the train station in Secaucus, you're paying $9 to park. Then the ticket itself, you're paying, I think for a round trip is like, I think another $9 or something like that. So it's kind of on that edge of like, the train is still cheaper overall, but the convenience of just driving straight in sometimes is better, depending on traffic, obviously. So there've been some times where it's been pretty stupid from a traffic POV, but you know, you weigh it. Yeah, pipe's going out again. The Meridian's good. It's about a medium-bodied English blend. Virginia's, Orientals, and Latakia. Good dose of Latakia in this one. It's quite smoky. Very little sweetness in the blend. So the Virginias are, yeah, they don't impart a lot of sweetness. You're probably dealing with darker Virginias in this case, I would think. But I'm not sure on that, honestly. I shouldn't say things like that. All I can say is that this blend doesn't impart a lot of sweetness that some blends with Virginia would impart. And I'll just leave it at that. But it's a good blend. It's another one of the old London series of GLPs. It's one I forgot to mention when I was going through some of the newer ones I picked up. But yeah, it was one of the first blends I bought. I've had it since September of last year. So it's definitely mellowed out nicely, and it's very flavorful. Yeah, I just kind of was sitting at my desk and saw the jar sitting there. I'm like, oh yeah, Meridian. Let's try some Meridian tonight. So yeah, it's good stuff. Get this tamped down a little bit and light it up again. Loving the LCS pot. I kind of went into my pipe cabinet. Will you focus, you stupid phone? Went into my pipe cabinet and pulled it out again and just fell in love with it all over again. There you go. There's the money shot. Love that bird's eye on the bottom of it. Alright, I'm going to tend to my pipe. Hope you guys are doing well. And have a fantastic weekend. And as usual, be excellent to one another.